Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Thursday the 21st of April 2022. Remember, we are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shoguners. We are also live on Synergy Television. We live on Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali. We live on YouTube, TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live. So a pleasant good night to you, Trinidad and Tobago, those of you up the Caribbean and around the globe. Remember, send your messages, call your friends, call your family. Let them know Real Talk with Saieed is going live on Synergy Network presently. So viewers, let me tell you something now. I have a little news for you tonight, you know. Banks in Trinidad and Tobago, commercial banks, let me tell you something. It's the worst thing sometimes, you know. Serious, you know, but I have a little score for all you, but later on tonight, viewers. Remember those of you who are looking for a loan, I have license to lend money. Once you have your little security, your collateral, not a problem. Contact me 2386716, 3391670, and we will do business. We will do business. So viewers, just a reminder, a lot of people have been calling me concerning we are South Branch. We are present. The branch is in South is down temporarily. We had a little issue there with some little technical problems, but nevertheless, it will open back soon. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry that we shut down the branch and we're not opening. No. We just had a little technical problem there and we're trying to sort it out. But nevertheless, viewers, it's Bacchanal Thursday. And we have some Bacchanal for you tonight, right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. The National Gas Company, NGC, is now preparing for a surge in demand for compressed natural gas, CNG. Now, conversations after Tuesday increase in the price of premium and super gasoline and diesel, Chief Financial Officer of the TT National Gas Limited and Acting President of CNG, Acting President of NGC/CNG, Sheldon Sylvester, stated that stakeholders are taking an all-hands-on-deck approach in anticipation of the increased demand for CNG kit. He stated that over the last 3 weeks, the volume of CNG sold has been the highest ever, and there have been increase in the CNG conversion kit purchased for CNG vehicles. So viewers, those of you who are running to put CNG kit in your vehicle, you might be faced with a new price. Now I'm going to tell you something. Anytime there's a demand in the market, every time there's a demand in the market for an item, price goes up on that item because it is in demand. Understand that? Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
My friend.
The original vaccine, imitation vaccine regiment. 2 issues.
Talk to me.
See, the original vaccine vagrant went to Barbados, right? He went to some kind of banking and finance. But why did he go? He's not an expert in finance and banking.
Correct.
He had the Minister of Finance, he could have said him.
True.
He have Brian Manny, he could have said him in Minister of Finance. No, my thought about it. You remember some time ago, Munilal said that they hook him up in some airport and they start to investigate it. I wonder if he's trying to mitigate that and mitigate, you know, it have a connection. They say it's NCB Global. I ain't saying anything, but I believe he take it front before the jamming start. The other thing I seen, boy, school open, and you see how much children fighting and blows and things.
Yes.
You know why that happened? the vaccine vagrant didn't look after the hyenas in the African jungle. He didn't get them after. He didn't look after them. So when they come out, you know what they start to do? Roar like a lion. And it is the vaccine vagrant. It is what I used to call him, Rip Van Winkle, the former Minister of Education, and now this young new Minister of Education who doesn't have a clue. So I say hooray for the hyenas in the African jungle, but we had to get rid of that man. It's too disgusting, too disgusting. How excited I got.
Thank you, my friend. Recently, about a week back, a member of TTPS told the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, use other methods than corporal punishment. Use method as banning them from their phone, their laptop, games, going out with friends, different methods to use to ban them. Let me tell you something. I have some videos with some children fighting. Let me tell you something. Banning these individuals from phone and tablet and thing. Let me tell you something. That ain't gonna work, you know. That ain't gonna work. We're talking about secondary school students. We're talking about senior com students. Senior comprehensive students. You think banning them from a phone and a tablet will do them something? No. No. They catch you in a fight in school. YTC down the line. Down the line. Boy, hey. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Mr. Ali, I was trying to get a hold of you last night on the current affairs show, right? I called you about 2 months now to get the lights fixed by Ramsaran Street and Southern Main Road. And up to now, nothing's been happening, right? I'd like to know, all the roads in Freeport and everything, you advertising that for over 2 months now, 3 months now.
Send my little video.
What's the use?
Send my little video. You see, once I have documented proof to show on television, we will highlight it. This is something that I always say. Every Wednesday we're dealing with the road, the bridge, the drainage, the councillors, the MP. Send it to me, real public concerns with a little note, and we will highlight it. That is all I'm asking you to do. So here it is. Local government minister Faris Al-Rawi have stated that further proposed cannabis control law will call for license for medical and religious use of ganja or marijuana. And cases before the court have dropped by 78% since the decriminalization of marijuana was done in 2019. Remember, viewers, remember when I stood right here in 2019 and for a whole month, I told the former AG, hey, AG, here what's going on. If you all decriminalize marijuana and give them a little 30 grams to move with, let me tell you something, we will have less cases in the court. Because some individual use marijuana, the herbs, for medicine. For medicine. Some of them just boil the marijuana, treat the root. For medical purpose. Some they use it for asthma, some they use it for sinus. They're boiling the root and they're drinking it. And it's working for them. It mightn't work on everybody. But individuals who have contacted me when we pushed for the decriminalization of marijuana said, Saeed, job well done. You all remember that? When I pushed for it right through here, that is when they started to raid ganja field. Hundreds of millions of dollars in ganja. Why are you making it illegal when you all could bring it to the parliament and pass a law, give individual license to plant it where we could export it? All I remember when I pushed for that right here. And when the AG passed it, I thank the AG. That was something Real Talk pushed for back in 2019. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead, my dear.
These children was fighting in school. They need the boot camp. And when we put them in the boot camp, the parents need to go in the boot camp because they're not giving the children any training. Mr. Saieed, I have never seen animal like them set of children. They be behaving like the Prime Minister. Good night, Mrs.
Thank you. You see, I go tell you something. Ministry balling, they are kids. They are kids. They're under the age of 18. But I go tell you something, touch my son and you're going to know who under 18. I'm telling you. Because no parents ain't want to send their child to school and they come up with a boss head and skin bruise up and uniform burst up and book rip up and take. No, it had that, you know. It had that, you know. Your child will face the full brunt of the law. Don't tell me you're under 18. You're under 18 and you go to jump kick. Okay? You're under 18 and you're fighting when I send you in school to learn. You're under 18 and you're walking with knife and weapon in school? No. You know it's illegal. You know it's illegal, but you're walking with it. Let me tell you something. You're going up one time. You're going up one time. Some member of TTPS saying, oh, all of us don't use corporal punishment. That when the father beat the underage child and they die. They come out one time, use other methods. Do not use corporal punishment. I send my child to school for some other student to beat it up. You're making a mistake. You're making a mistake. The full bunch of the law. I don't care if you're under 18, you know. I do business with that, you know. Don't interfere with my son in school. You could fight, you could make the time. You could make the time. You know, time out and thing there, you know. When my child come home with a uniform rip up and bust head and swell up eye and bust lip, what you want to tell me you're under 18? That's what I always tell people. And if you have my children and them, it's a hand not like you're under 18, you know. It's a different story. Because no judge in Trinidad, no lawyer, no police ain't going and watch their child abuse in court, in a school or outside and say what? You know, well, they're under 18. You think a magistrate want to hear they're under 18 when their child come home bruised up? No. You think some prosecutor or some policeman want to hear, well, you know, she under 18 and look what I do with my child and you under 18? No, no police I want to hear that. No lawyer I want to hear that. No magistrate I want to hear that. But you know what the law said? They are under 18, they are minors, while they're battering your child. They're battering your child, but them is minors. You have to pay the doctor bill. You have to pay the medical bill, medicine bill, x-ray bill. But them is minors. You think the Attorney General for Trinidad and Tobago, you think if his child go to school and then his child come home battered down, you feel he going to tell you about law? We living in Trinidad. So back to the marijuana case. Arawi, he indicated this is in the beginning debate on a motion on a joint select committee report on cannabis control bill. That bill was the second part of proposed legislation on marijuana. The first part was to decriminalize possession of 30 grams of marijuana, which was passed in 2019. Remember when I stood right here and pushed for that law? Right here I stood. Right here I stood and I pushed that. And we got it passed. That is one for real talk. We did it. Watch me now. That is when I tell all you. When we got that pass, our individual came down and wanted to open my lab. He said, Saieed, job well done. Job well done, Saieed. He left the US, fly down to Trinidad, just to meet Saieed, to shake my hand. Saieed, congratulations. I have a lab in the US, and because of you, I could now come down to TNT and export. Hear the words, you know. Export marijuana from Trinidad to carry back to the US. To use it for medicine, to create medicine for medical purpose. Yeah. Now, proposal include license for medical, therapeutics and scientific purpose, license for cultivation and processing, lab research, import and export, and for transportation. So you see how much things, how many things we got out of this that I pushed for? License for medical purpose, therapeutic and scientific purpose, license for cultivating and processing, license for lab research, license for import and export, and for transportation. When all I tell ourselves, Side, you know what you pushing for? Side, know what you pushing for? Was we who did it? Was Real Talk did it? When everybody saying, oh Side, you can't get this done, you can't get that done, you can't get it next done, boom! The AG understand why. The former AG understand why Saieed wanted it passed. Licenses were also proposed for religious purpose. The bill also proposed clause for protection of children when buying, selling, and using were concerned. Let me tell you something. When we get that passed, that was a big thing, you know. That was a big thing, you know. Caller, good night.
Congrats, Saieed. Good night.
My darling, you know when we pushed for that in 2019.
Yeah, he's our boss. We know that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to highlight two things tonight. First, I overheard on our next program something about the CEO of WhatsApp. They either want to suspend him or something to that effect because he didn't sign off on firing 3,000 workers. Saieed, I don't know if you could recall, a Wasserman lost his life for that same thing, right? And the individual went home by his house and murdered him. You think the CEO will remember that? Why give him that end of the stick to hold? Is the head of the fountain supposed to do that? Why nobody else want to sign off on that? So listen, any man to get his debt? No, don't sign nothing. The second thing, Saieed, the worst thing could have happened to this country is taking corporal punishment in schools. You know, nobody is talking about students beating teachers.
Yes, it's taking place in Trinidad.
They're beating the teachers in the schools.
Correct.
And nobody doing nothing about it. Not even the courts, not even the law, all the gender-based this and the gender-based that. Students beating and embarrassing teachers who imparting knowledge on the dumb behind. And this supposed to be a law. Even more, let's say don't hit them. They have no right to be hitting the teachers.
Correct.
The teachers imparting knowledge, so all you won't be fools for the rest of all your life. And the parents who just as dumb, not standing and letting these children know that they're wrong. I am not taking away no device from you. I will break your waist. And no law could tell me. I don't care how all you come. I go in the court. I mean, it's unfortunate that parent, that next one, and she end up dying.
Correct.
Right? I feel for him.
Yes.
I feel for him. But nobody knows what he was going through for the same reason. Don't hit them, don't do this, your corporal punishment, and we will lock up the parents. Lock up the parents, yes, for not disciplining the children. My heart reached out to that father because probably, God knows he probably couldn't take it anymore. You understand? And where the mother? Why wasn't she held accountable too? Because she is responsible just as much as him, as the father. They have to share custody of the little girl. You understand? When they take the fan, they send her by the father. Father can't bear it anymore. This corporal punishment thing, these children need licks. That is the only solution. Them white people think about take away this and naughty corner and this corner. Ain't how that. Blaze the tail and you will see. We didn't have much people in the prison, you know, Saieed.
Correct.
The prison wasn't overflowing as it is now. because society was not like now everybody going astray, right? Just because of politics.
Correct.
Good night,
Correct.
Saieed.
Thank you, my dear. Well said. Well said. So here it is. We're going now to NIB. The National Insurance Board, NIB, has revealed that its contribution income is no longer sufficient to support its benefit payment, which has resulted in a deficit for the company. I will tell you something. I said on a previous show, anytime our expenditure is more than our income, we're going to end up in serious problems. So here it is. How come NIB end up in a deficit? How come the contribution can no longer sustain the payout? You know why? You want to know why Trinidad and Tobago lack of jobs, lack of employment would cause the income that's supposed to go to NIB? It will drop. It will drop. So calling them both now, they want to raise the age from 60 to 65. But what they're not checking is the lack of payments going to NIB. Why lack of payments? Because there is no employment for employers to take out NIS to pay their contribution. How you call that now? How you call that? Colin! Is the country economy booming? No, we're not booming. We collapse. We collapse. So now, the working class citizen who said, well, you know what, I'm going to retire at 60. No, they had to prolong until 65. They had to stretch their years, hoping now that they would live now for the next 5 years. So these folks now have to pay for the lack of employment that we have in Trinidad and Tobago presently. How you call that? That is raw stinkness that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago now have to feel. Because of the lack of employment, the older folks have to tread now on the road a little longer to pay contribution for 5 years more now. And the economy booming. The economy booming with unemployment. Hence the reason why NIB end up in this problem. So here it is. Executive Director of NIB, Ms. Prasad Paula has stated that benefit expenditure has been growing because of the aging population as persons now lead healthier lifestyle. Listen to this video.
It was projected back then that for the period 2013, from 2013, that benefit contribution income would no longer be sufficient to support benefit payments. So what you have happening from 2013 is that our benefit expenditure, of course, has been growing, and that is really because of the aging population. And of course, people are living longer, healthier lifestyles. So you find that our benefit expenditure for the period, let's just say over the period 2017 to 2020, that has grown from 4.7 billion to 5.3 billion.
You know what they wouldn't say? They would not come out and tell the population that the working class or the employed people, we no longer have a volume of employed people to pay contribution. You know what I say? We live in a healthier lifestyle. So because we are living a healthier lifestyle, it causes you now to raise it from 60 to 65. Because now people, we choose to live a healthier lifestyle that will lengthen the age, but they would not come out and say, what is the intake of finance to NIB. They're complaining, oh, we live in a healthier lifestyle, so we extend the age. How much is the volume of finance coming into NIB? What about the $10 million that went missing? Colin! Where's that report? Where is that report, Colin? You can't answer. Precisely, we live in a healthier lifestyle. So since we are living a healthier lifestyle, we go extend our age. But what is the income? What is the intake? What is the contribution intake towards NIB? Or you come out with that figure? Or you have the expenditure figure, but you wouldn't say the intake figure to show the general public that the working citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. If it was 50, we dropped to how much? About under 25. Under 25. We have 100% workers in Trinidad and Tobago. It dropped to 25% working. So you know how much we lose? We lose a whole 75% of employed citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. So where you going to find any contribution now from the working population towards NIB? And they go drop? And they go drop? But they come up with a story to say, oh, we live in a healthier lifestyle. We take side for a Duncy head individual? You take side for a Duncy head individual? Come out and talk the truth. Come out and talk the truth. Because if you have 100 employed person paying contribution and 75 of that 100 person unemployed, you get only 25 people paying contribution. What will happen? How do you call that? But oh gosh, we live in a healthier lifestyle. So because I live healthier, we go extend it to 65. That is the lamest excuse in the book they could have come out with. The lamest excuse. But you go blame Saieed. She stated that between the period 2017 to 2020, benefit expenditure grew from 4.7 billion to 5.3 billion. However, during the same period, contribution income hovered between 4.7 and 4.6. Mrs. Prasad Polaha stated that as of 2020, contribution and investment income combined was insufficient to support benefit expenditure. We talk about expenditure and administrative expenditure. And I always say, anytime our expenditure surpass our income, we in problem. So if your expenditure surpass your income, which means we have lack of income coming in, and the expenditure growing, but you know what? Because we're getting older and living healthier, we're going to increase it. So you know the viewers, pick sense from nonsense. Their expenditure went up and their intake was less. As an accountant, what are you trying to run? Nancy's story by me? No. If your income not coming in to support your expenditure, you will end up in problem. Not increasing it from 60 to 65. No, you ain't solved no problem. You ain't solved no problem because your income drop. How your expenditure go maintain if your income drop? Will you take me for a Duncy head or what? That is why, citizen, I am telling you, every night I come here to educate you. I come here to give you knowledge that nobody else ain't giving you. And I'm giving it on national television. So those who feel they're sitting down in high places and they feel they could just come in a camera or a media conference and just rattle out them out. No, it have people will tell the truth. Oh, Saieed, so hear this now. Now that you reach 60 and you're healthy, you're eating healthy, you're exercising, we're going to increase your work age from 60 to 65. So Saieed would pay more, 5 years longer. But you cook up your fancy words and your fancy script. You wouldn't say the intake drop, you know. No, you're going to say the intake drop. Because we know, it's like we putting ourselves up for gunman to gun me down, so we ain't going to do that. We going to tell them because they're living healthier. All it takes side for a clown or what? Eh? She noted that this is a trend. Is expected to continue into the future, and while the fund is sustainable, urgent reform is needed. Listen to this.
However, over the last 2 years, and I know that this period is not before the committee, so I will speak very cautiously about it because I know the period is up to 2020. But even as of 2020, our in contribution income and investment income combined was insufficient to support benefit expenditure and administrative expenditure. And as a result, we have had to use not only investment income, but we have had to use some of our cash and cash equivalents to support the deficit. And remember, it is projected, of course, to continue into the future. What the NIB has proposed via the 10th actuarial review, and even in the actuarial reviews prior to that, is that the fund is sustainable, but reform is urgently required.
Hey, they may play tie up themselves, you know. They may play tie up themselves, you know. If the fund is sustainable, let me do a little maths here. If the fund is sustainable, it's sustainable, manageable, why you raise the age? Why you raise the age? Common sense will ask you. If the scale weighing 100 each, why you raise the age? Why? I wonder when them reach 60, what will happen? They're trying to fool Saieed, don't come with that. Mrs. Prasad Paula has suggested a chance in retirement age and adjustment of contribution rates. So which means your contribution going to go up just now. And the minimum pension be frozen. Oh, they want to freeze it. Until it becomes relevant to change. So how long you intend to freeze pension? How long? That is a bacchanal. That pensioners, let me tell you something, they don't mind walking in the streets of Trinidad and Tobago because they have already contributed towards that. Watchmen, I have people in authority playing serious games, you know. You got to tell me after I work all my life, you want to freeze my pension? And we're trying to combat crime in Trinidad and Tobago? All you're setting up all yourself. How you expect crime to finish in Trinidad and Tobago when they want to freeze your pension? So when you telling me all my contribution I make, what happen? Weight going down the drain? I depending on my pension to survive now, and you telling me I cannot get my pension? You want to cut my little 3,000 I get in? All you have to, hey, and all you expect murder rate to go down? All you expect crime to go down? Who's setting up all you to get, boy, hey. All you expect crime to finish. All you expect crime to finish. All you want to eat all your food while all you're working. I already contribute my life out. Now you telling me I can't get my food? And all I want to fix murder rate in Trinidad and telling me I can't get my food after all my contribution? No. All you're setting up all yourself. She revealed that NIB met with the Ministry of Finance on the matter. Look who they meet with. Look who they meet with. Minister of Finance, the short man, to try and fix the problem. Listen to this video.
We have recommended, and the actuarial review, the actuaries have recommended, one, a gradual increase in the retirement age from age 60 to age 65 over a period of time. Two, the adjustment of the contribution rate, which right now stands at 13.2%. The recommendation was that it moved gradually from 13.2 to 14.4, 15.6, and then at 16%. Over time, of course, remember. And the third thing was, of course, to freeze the minimum pension, which right now stands at $3,000, to freeze the minimum pension until it becomes relevant.
Let me just run back. She stated that between the period 2017 to 2020, benefit expenditure grew from 4.7 to 5.3. Tell me about the employment rate from 2017 to 2020, and we're going to do some maths. We're going to do some maths. We will do some maths. Anytime your expenditure is more than your income, we're going to end up in problem. When your income drop, your expenditure will go up, and that will cause a crash in the economy. Let's talk to me, Trinidad and Tobago. Talk to me. Lack of employment, lack of contribution, expenditure going up. Let's talk. Case closed, talk. Talk now. Side is our accountant. And any accountant will tell you, anytime your expenditure exceeding your income, you're in problem. You're in problem. Call a good night. You still can't get the click. So hear this now. I'm going to love this back on Tuesday. Minister of Finance Colin Members have stated that the increase in the retirement age will resolve the problem the National Insurance Board has in terms of paying contribution. He stated that the government is guided by the recommendation of various architectural reports on the NIS, among other factors, in its oversight of the system. Colin Members, I want to tell you something. As long as there is less income coming in, they will always end up in problem. Always end up in problem. Don't come and tell Saeed you will increase the age and that will fix the problem. Don't come and tell me you want to freeze pension and that will fix the problem. No. No, no, no. Like I said, you have 100 people working and 75 people went home. You have 25 people will be making contribution to NIB, which means we have lost an intake or a contribution of 75 people. What do you expect now for NIB to do? And your expenditure will become more than your income? It is common sense. Not everybody have it. Not everybody have it. So you think increasing the age will fix the problem? No, we have less income. He stated that the government is guided by the recommendation. What recommendation? As long as we have a drop in employment, there will always be this problem. Always. Imbod added that while the recommendations of the 10th actual report may appear feasible, each recommendation has an impact on the contribution to the NIS.
The government is guided by the recommendations of the various actuarial reports on the national insurance system, among other factors, in its oversight of the system. While the recommendations of the 10th actuarial report may appear feasible on the face of it, each recommendation has an impact on contributors to the national insurance system.
Talk now. I tell you what, you're getting news in depth, you know. News in depth you're getting, you know. They want to come and tell me about, oh, if we raise the age and we freeze the pension, we go fix it. No, when you freeze the pension, you know how many hundreds of thousands of citizens are leaving to die without an income? Imagine you work in an IB and they freeze the pension and your father had no money to buy food. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're talking about some big boy working in an IB and their salary is about 15,000 a month. Oh God, and your father working life out. He sent you to school. Now it's his relaxing time. You decide to freeze pension. Part of your salary now has to go to maintain your father until he dies. Now let's think about that. You think the Ministry of Finance care about anybody in Trinidad? No. But however said, while the government appreciates the need for NIS reform, caution is key to ensuring the reform can be operationalized at minimum cost to the citizens. He added that the Finance Ministry stated or started consultation with National Trade Union with respect to increasing the retirement age. Imbut noted that if the initiative is successful or successfully implemented, it will improve the NIB capacity to meet long-term obligation in terms of benefits and improve the level of contribution to the National Insurance Fund. Listen to this.
While the government appreciates the need for reform of the national insurance system, caution is key to ensuring that the reforms can be operationalized at minimum cost to the citizenry. In this regard, the Ministry of Finance, having considered the recommendations of the actuary and developments in the domestic and international environment, commenced consultations with the national trade unions with respect to increasing the retirement age. If this initiative is successfully implemented, it will improve the National Insurance Board's capacity to meet its long-term obligations in terms of benefits and improve the level of contributions to the National Insurance Fund.
How that going to improve? How that going to improve? You tell me. I'm waiting to hear the maths. I am waiting to hear the maths on how this problem will solve. The only way this problem going and solve and we get generated contribution into NIB is creating employment. That is the only way we're going to fix this problem. Unless we don't have generated income through employment, raising it to 65 ain't fixing the problem. Ain't fixing the problem. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you reach 60 and you go to 61 and doctors say you're medically unfit to go to work, what's going to happen? What going to happen? Well, let's talk now, man. Imbut said additionally the ministry has advised the NIB to establish a funding policy with clear objectives to govern adjustment to the parameter of the system. Let me tell you, see that theory, you're wasting time. He said it is likely that any reform on the NIS would require legislative amendment, but the length of time before such legislation can be made or can be brought to Parliament cannot be precisely determined at this time. Hey, it's a sad, sad, sad time for Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Sad, sad, sad time. Other shows in Trinidad will not bring the reality to you like I bring it. No other program, no news, no nothing will bring it to you like we communicate. Call a good night.
Yeah, good night, sorry.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't think that they're hoping that you make it to 65. They're hoping that by the time you hit 60, that is it.
Yep.
They have no plan. I mean, most people, right now, they say the economy is doing well. If the economy is doing well, then a lot of people will be working, then there will be contribution to NIB. So what they're saying is making no sense. Because everything that I just listened to what you said, the Minister of Finance, and he just take you around, he just take you like a merry-go-round. Nothing
he feel me stupid.
Like nothing makes sense, and now they're talking property tax for people. You're talking gas price.
Yes.
You're talking diesel price. You're talking electricity.
Yes.
You're talking water. You're talking all kind of things. Their money good. Their money good. And I know that all their pension, all of them retiring with big pension, you know,
Correct.
for life.
Yeah.
And they're making sure they get the thing up front. People who contribute to this NIS, they should be able, when they reach 60, to get their money.
Correct.
Right? Not to talk about 65. And all we're talking about employment. Well, what employment it has for people after 60 to 65? It don't have no employment. It have no employment in this country. So that's nonsense. All of them, you see the size of the billion NIB put up there? How come you're putting up all these billions? $1 billion there and $1 billion there
Correct.
and $1 billion there, and you have no problem. Right? They have money is not a problem when it comes to $1 billion here and $1 billion. But they're spending how much? I think somebody was saying it's 486 million or 86 million that they spent last year on subsidies.
Yes.
And somebody put a report, $32 billion. But for all those years, it's not billion, it's trillion. Trillion is like 1,000 billion.
Yes.
More money you spend on billions and whatever they do, all this kind of nonsense. So they just give people foolishness and they just run with it.
Correct.
This country, as I say, we got to eat salt. With them there, we got to eat salt. Good night, sir. I'm sorry. They're doing a good job. Yeah, bye.
Thank you, my friend. Hey, so viewers, hear this. Hear this. I tell him my credit union on stream, you know. My credit union on stream, you know. I need 10 individuals who is looking to be employed with Real Talk Credit Union. I'm looking for 10 people. I have an audit team to finish and a credit team to finish. So I'm looking for 10 persons to work for Real Talk Credit Union. Bring in your resume. Call me at 238-6716 or 339-1670. Do your resume. Come in, call the numbers, come into my office, and we will sit down and have a discussion. I have a video to show you about the department I create for the Real Talk Credit Union, you know, the building. But I forgot to upload it up for the director. But nevertheless, I have a new director here. I have a new director. The other one left. But nevertheless, I wish him all the best. Call a good night.
Hello, good night, Said.
My friend, how are you?
I am good, and laughing.
Nice, nice.
Yes, I have to make myself happy as I did.
True, true.
Well, listen to me. What about the 10 billion or $10 million is from the insurance board?
True, true.
And nobody saying nothing about that? Nobody being arrested or anything like that?
Nothing as yet.
You see how nice politics is to be in?
Yes.
Especially in the PNM, when they do the crime. Nobody does anything and the whole nation forgets. All right, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Hey, so hear this now. I have a little something to tell earlier. Drop that letter. An incident happened to a guy today. He was called in to First Citizen Bank. And I believe it was the acting manager or the assistant manager told him that they presented a letter to him and told him that they have the authority to shut down his account. To shut down his account. They did not give him a reason why they're closing his account. But they just serve him a letter. They call him in. He went in. They serve him a letter and they tell him you have 7 days in which to close down your account. Otherwise, we would issue by force, after 7 days, a manager's check to you. Come back to me. So I'm asking myself, they have the authority to shut down an account. Now, hear this, Here's where this tricky part comes in. The money that the individual has in his account came from his wife's account. They did not indicate to the individual what was the purpose and the reason for shutting down his account. They serve him this letter, you have 7 days to close your account, or we would close it because of our clause and issue a manager's check. So I ask myself today, if they issue a manager's check to this individual, and this is the only account this individual has, where is he going to deposit this manager's check that they are willing to give him on his name? So I just want to bring it to your attention, not to bad talk the bank in any way, but to let you, the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, know that at any point in time, the bank you deal with could call you in and tell you at any point in time that we are closing down your account. It's sad, It's sad. But up to now, not the manager, not the assistant manager, not the supervisor, told the individual the purpose of why, or the reason why they are closing down the account. It's sad to know. It's sad to know that we put our money in these banks. They charge us for every little thing that they do for us. And they could just pick up our phone and call you, invite you to the manager's office or the assistant manager's office, and indicate to you that we are closing your account for no goddamn reason. It's sad, It's sad. You have to pay service fee. You have to pay to use the credit card. Every time you swipe on links, they charge you. When you're going to get a statement, they charge you. For using the ink that the bank have, they're charging you. Every single thing they're charging you for. But they could opt one day, just like that, and call you and tell you, we are terminating your account. And if you don't do it, in 7 days, we're going to issue a manager check for you. So I ask myself today, if this individual has no account in any other bank, where is he going to deposit that manager's check? You, the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, be the judge. You be the judge. So the individual asks, I believe it's the assistant manager, my friend, if my account closed and you issue a manager's check to me, where am I going to deposit this manager's check when your bank is the only bank I have an account with? Where am I? They want to give me a manager's check on my name, but there's only one account I have is with your bank. So where am I to go to deposit this manager's check? Where am I to go when your bank is the only bank I bank with? The assistant could not answer. How sad. How sad. And we expect crime to fix in Trinidad and Tobago. We expect crime to fix when we get in this sort of treatment. It pretty, ain't? It's very, very pretty. Nobody could help nobody at that point in time. So the individual to himself now, let's just say that he decides to transfer his money back to his wife's account. What about if his wife's bank refused to take back the cash that was wired or transferred to FCB, and from FCB back to that account? If her bank refused to accept the transfer, what is going to happen with this individual and his money when they give him a manager's check? Where is he going to deposit that when he only banks with that bank? What is going to happen? And we expect a fixed murder rate in Trinidad and Tobago. Hard-earned cash in the bank. You call me to tell me you terminated my account because of a clause you all have. And then you want to issue a manager's check at the end of 7 days, hoping that from day 1 to day 6 or day 7, his wife's bank accept the transfer. If not, what am I to do with this manager's check? So you're going to tell me, I have no other account, I bank with you, my wife banks refuse to take in a transfer, and you giving me a manager's check. Where am I to deposit that? In the post office? Am I to deposit that in a bakery? Am I to deposit that in Wassa or Tiantec? You tell me, where am I to deposit that when I only deal with your bank? You think the manager care what you do with it? And now to set up an account in a bank, let me tell you something. Yeah, Lord. The only thing they don't ask you is how much time you have sex with your wife or your girlfriend. Take what I'm telling you. So what am I to do with this manager's check? All my money in my hand. I can't go to no other bank because me I had no other account, because the assistant tell me, you know what? We issue the manager's check on your name. Where am I to go and deposit it? The assistant, the manager, the supervisor, nobody said why I am closing the account. But you're just shutting it down. Well done. This is what we face as citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. His money left his wife's account into his account. FCB finds something wrong, they issue a letter to him, in 7 days' time you close it down. Oh, we're giving you a manager's. What am I to do with this manager's? All my money will be on this check. And where am I going to deposit this? In Wassa? In Tiantec? In the post office? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. He has 7 days now to find a bank that would facilitate his money. And they're taking how much? About a month to give you an appointment date. So where is this going? Am I to take a scissors now? I want to go to the grocery, chip piece of the check? I'm asking. I'm not here to discredit the bank, you know. But I'm here to seek answers, which the manager, the supervisor, the assistant, those in authority refuse to give because of our policy. And we want to fix crime in Trinidad and Tobago. We want to fix murder rate in Trinidad and Tobago. But my money in a manager's check, and I can't go to no other bank because the manager's check on my name and I only deal with your bank. But we want to fix murder rate in Trinidad. We want to fix crime in Trinidad. And these are the kind of things citizens have to face. These are the kind of things. Let me tell you something. The kind of thing I just hear citizens talking about what bank do them and what this do them and what that do, is a bloody hell shame. It's a shame. Remember the day when I light up the manager from Scotiabank in Marabella? Refused to give the woman the money. She owed money. Retired and put it in the bank and time to withdraw it. You know, darling, you cannot get it. What? That should have been me. Hear how stupid I is, eh? I would have stand up by that building and say, Mr. Man, you can't come downstairs here. I that dotish. Let the police come and escort you. You telling me I can't get my money? You know how hard I work? When you hugging up your wife, I on the road walking taxi, or I going on some job site. Or you want to tell me I can't get it? But we want to fix crime in Trinidad and Tobago. There are factors that contribute to crime. People wouldn't tell all of that, but there are factors that contribute to crime. And we go, but how that man get gone down? How that drive-by shooting take place? What he do is not what he do, is what happened. So I ask myself today, what is this individual going to do now when that bank issue a manager's check for him? Let me tell you something. As long as that check in my possession, you pay my grocery bill, you know. Take what I'm telling you. So viewers, we're out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, be safe until we meet again. Good night.